Hey everybody, so it is Monday. Happy Monday. As I've been addressing the last couple of days, there's no need to dread Monday, right? It's just another day. You can be super thankful on Monday and set up a great week. But that's not why I came to talk to you today. I did notice the buttons are a little bit different here on Facebook Live today. I'm not quite sure why that is. So I'm gonna play around just a little bit here and see what's going on. There, and then I'll get back to you. I apologize. That's being rude. Look, it's like I'm on my phone, but I'm playing with my phone while I'm on my phone talking to you. It's a little bit strange, right? So, hey Melissa, hey Tracy. So, right, Tracy, isn't that odd? Like, I'm on my phone talking to you, and if it's like the rudest of rudes. You can see me tapping your face to push buttons. Anyways, so I wanted to talk today about why are we so resistant to change. And I'm a little bit, I was going to use the word trepidatious. That's a big word, so I'm a little bit scared. The Matrix, exactly. I'm a little bit scared today to talk about this because it's sort of a hot topic. It's not as hot as it was when it first was addressed, and I know it's still in the works. But okay, so here's the general premise. Having lunch with my husband and my teenage daughter. Hey, Whitney. And we're eating in a restaurant, and my daughter, because of something that was said in the car, said, well, how do you guys feel about transgender bathrooms? And I think just because it's your teenage daughter, and I think this is the first time she's ever asked us like a big topic question, we were just sort of like set back, like, and we're in a restaurant, so, you know, I think you sort of feel like maybe or not you might offend someone depending on what your views are or what you say. And this was a very hot topic when it first started coming out. And I had problems with having the conversation. Not necessarily because of my beliefs, because I very much think that when you have a conversation, you need to, when it's a question, even though she was asking what our beliefs were, I really feel like you have to put all the information out there. And I, you know, having a biology degree and then also being a mom and then being a coach that wants people to realize that if they want to change something, they certainly can. There's nothing holding you back, and I'm just open-minded in general. I didn't want to say, like, here are my beliefs. But there was another part to it, and this is why I'm a little bit frustrated in thinking back on the conversation today, and that's because all of a sudden, like, this wall went up, like, wait! You know, as soon as she asked that, it was like, and I had to think about, like, why I had that reaction. It wasn't because of her age and that she wanted to talk about stuff. Actually, I was thrilled that she would feel comfortable enough to ask us something that's a hot topic. But I didn't, and this is bad, I didn't want to think about it. I just, at the moment, I thought it wasn't a problem that I could have any input on. I didn't want to, and you sometimes, like, you don't want to change or think about change because it's more information to go into your brain, right? It makes you uncomfortable, right? Change makes you uncomfortable, and yet if you want to burst through and keep assimilating information, you have to be uncomfortable. You have to take in what you know and what you don't know and come up with a new truth. And that's so hard about change. So besides me throwing up the wait wall and I didn't want to think about it, there was also this part of me, I'm a doer. I'm a problem solver. So I want to get like right down to the nitty-gritty and be unbiased and start saying, okay, well, how are we going to fix this for both sides? And yet I don't possibly have the information to do that sitting in a booth at a restaurant eating with my family. So in a way, it's a frustration for me. And so because I would not have access and papers and studies and people's opinions, I would just like, and then also, big picture thinker. I am completely one of those people who's like, well, it's not just about me. It's about you, and it's about you, and it's about generations to come. So we can't make decisions lightly. And again, that holds you up from changing, right? Because you want to think it all through. I want to think it all through and process it. Hey, Amber. So I think there were a whole bunch of reasons that I just threw up my hands, my mental hands. I wasn't sitting at the restaurant going, but like I had mental hands that went up and I was like, wait, I don't want to talk about this. So Amber, you're coming in late. And basically, my teenage daughter asked us at a restaurant what we thought about transgender bathrooms. And what I was just saying was that there were so many reasons that I did not sort of want to discuss it or begin discussing it because I didn't want to think about extra information. I knew I needed a whole bunch of more information and I wanted to solve the problem right then, which wasn't possible. And I'm a big picture thinker, so I have to process like, what's this step and how's it going to affect this person? How's it going to affect their family? How's it going to affect generations to come? So that's a very broad view about change, but I think we all have a resistance to changing things in our lives because we get scared of getting uncomfortable. And it can be so frustrating because, so I threw up my mental hands and I was sort of like that shocked, like that, face emoji that there is that I love to use so much. But then I began to think, I've just been reading a book and there was a very large portion of a chapter on Rosa Parks and how doing something very small, she changed things in a big way. And when she did her very small thing of staying in her seat on a bus, she probably didn't realize what she was throwing into motion. She probably didn't care. She probably was just fed up at that point. And so I'm sitting here, my hands are up, and then I'm thinking Rosa Parks, and I thought, well, she could have just decided to stay in her comfort zone and given up her seat like she had done several hundred times, and she didn't, and things changed for the better. And things were changing in a way that had been the same for years and years and decades and decades. And I think that has to be considered. I think you have to look at people who have come before you, who have shown a little bit of courage to feel uncomfortable and to think about change. So not that I have an answer to transgender bathrooms, but it led me to talk about change and how we get afraid because we don't want to be uncomfortable, and yet we really need to be. And I feel like the older you get, the more resistant you are to change because you've had more practice of being comfortable. Does that make sense? I think so. Makes sense to me. You can take it or leave it. I don't have to win that argument. Anyways, so I just wanted you to think about it. Like, why are we resistant to change? And what can we do to be more open-minded and actually get out of the comfort zone? Because it might be a comfort zone, but it might not be a happy zone. How many of us, and I know I did this, how many of you guys have a job that you're not happy with, but you go every day? Because the idea of asking for a new job and then making your current boss mad because you're looking for a new job makes you uncomfortable. So how many of us do that? Hey, Stephanie. For sure. Right, Amber? Change isn't always easy, but it is so worth it. If we can think about the future value of the change and not just how it makes us feel right now, we could get so many things. I was gonna say happy FUD in our life. We could get so many things improved in our lives that we, it's just getting past that initial discomfort and then realizing that you didn't die when you decided you were going to apply for another job. And you can keep doing it over and over again until you get a job that makes you happy, that you are passionate about. And yes, there was some discomfort when you first started down the road of getting the new job, but now you're awesome. Now you're cool. Hey Halima. So that is the end. Please go back if you came in late and watched the recording. Please feel free to leave comments. I will come back and read them. And then also, I am wondering if adding subtitles to a video might be good. I've had some people tell me that I'll come on live, but they don't ever watch my video because they're in a public place and they're not quite sure what I will say or how I shall embarrass them if they watch my video. So if you would like subtitles, please give a surprise face on the video post, and then that way I can know to go ahead and do that. So thank you guys for listening today. Go back and listen. Please put your inputs in, because I would love to know what you think about change in general, or if the topic that spurred my idea of transgender bathroom, if you have anything to say about that, I would love your input on that too, because eventually my daughter's going to ask again, and I'm going to need to either